Have you ever picked up an English book and thought, I want to read this, but I don't understand anything? You're not alone. Many learners feel the same way when they try to read English books, stories, or even short texts. Reading in English should be enjoyable, not overwhelming. Let's navigate this journey together. Comment below, do you find reading in English challenging? Yes or no? Chapter 1. My first encounter with an English book. I still remember the first English book I ever held. It was small, adorned with colorful pictures on the cover. I didn't know its title, only that it was in English. As I opened the first page, I was met with words, sentences, and a story, but nothing made sense. I read the first sentence repeatedly, my eyes scanning the words while my mind remained blank. Confusion washed over me. I wanted to understand, but the words eluded me. I closed the book and sat in silence, questioning, will I ever read in English? My heart whispered no, but a tiny voice inside urged me to try again. The next day, I returned to the book. I examined the pictures, attempting to decipher their meanings. I traced each word with my finger, pronouncing them slowly. I stumbled and made many mistakes, but I persevered. I focused on one sentence at a time, reading it over and over. After numerous attempts, I finally grasped it. Just one line, but it sparked joy within me. I felt proud. It was a small victory, but it was mine. I approached my teacher, showing her the book and expressing my desire to read it. This revelation led me to a better way of reading. Now, when I encounter a new word, I attempt to deduce its meaning by analyzing the sentence, the surrounding words, and the accompanying images. I ask myself, what could this word signify? Sometimes I guess correctly, sometimes not, but each attempt teaches me something. Her kindness made me feel safe, igniting a flicker of hope. Every day, I read a page, sometimes just a few lines. I didn't rush. I followed the words with my finger, vocalizing them. Some words were easy, while others were challenging. Yet, I continued. The book became my companion, comforting me during sad times and offering new insights daily. I recall one line, "The sun is up." I read it countless times, looking out the window to see the sun shining. I said, "The sun is up," and smiled. That sentence became real to me. When I encountered something I didn't understand, I didn't panic. Though the book was simple and short, it transformed something within me. It revealed that I could read in English, not quickly or perfectly, but step by step. Sometimes I forgot what I read, felt bored, or wanted to give up. Yet I remembered the happiness of reading that first sentence. I craved that feeling again, so I opened the book repeatedly. The more I read, the more I understood. Words morphed into feelings, images, and stories. They came alive. I felt a connection to the language. It was no longer foreign. I still cherish that book. It wasn't perfect, and neither was I, but together we embarked on a new journey. My English reading adventure began with that small book and a big dream. You can start your journey too, one page, one line, one word at a time. Chapter 2: Embrace small steps. I didn't dive into complex books or dictionaries. I began with small, simple texts. I sought out children's books with large letters and vibrant illustrations. The words were short and the sentences were straightforward. The colorful pages calmed me, they didn't intimidate me. That's where my journey began. One book featured a cat on the cover. The first line read, "This is a cat." I looked at the cat in the picture and the word cat, pronouncing it slowly, C-A-T. I smiled, knowing what a cat was. Reading and writing are like best friends. Doing both accelerates learning, enhances understanding, and improves speaking. Turning the page, I encountered the line, "The cat is on the mat." I didn't understand mat, but I looked at the picture and recognized it as a carpet. I guessed correctly. I didn't consult a dictionary, I relied on my observation and intuition. I read that book repeatedly, more than once or twice. Every day, I revisited the same sentences. Some might find this tedious, but for me, it was magical. Each reading deepened my understanding, allowing me to say the words faster and with fewer errors. Repetition strengthened my memory. I wasn't reading to finish, I was reading to comprehend. At night, I read before bed, and in the morning, I read before school. I carried a small book in my bag, seizing any free moment to read. I didn't wait for the perfect time or someone to guide me. I created my own opportunities and became my own teacher. Reading became my daily habit. Some days, I lacked motivation. I felt tired or lazy, wanting to play games instead. But I remembered my dream of reading English stories, understanding signs, menus, and messages. That dream fueled my determination. Even when I was slow or made mistakes, I kept reading. One day, I read an entire page without stopping. I didn't grasp every word, but I understood the overall meaning. I felt immense pride, smiling and even applauding myself. I wanted to share my achievement with everyone, exclaiming, "Look, I can read." That was a significant milestone for me. Reading became easier, not fast, but more manageable. I began to recognize words, no longer feeling lost. My eyes followed the lines, my mouth articulated the sentences, and my mind comprehended the meaning, all because I took small steps. I always advise new learners, don't start with difficult books. Don't attempt to learn everything at once. Don't rush. Begin with easy texts. Read them multiple times. Befriend the words. Make reading a daily ritual. Approach it with love, not pressure. One day, you'll surprise yourself by reading something and understanding it. That day, you'll feel proud, just as I did. Reading isn't about speed, it's about enjoying the journey. Every small step you take brings you closer to your dream. Chapter 3. Engage with your finger and voice. When I first began reading, my eyes raced while my brain lagged behind. I scanned words without comprehension, jumping from line to line, feeling lost and fatigued. I struggled to retain anything. Then, one day, my teacher shared a simple yet transformative tip: use your finger. Read with your voice. Initially, I didn't grasp it. I thought reading was solely visual. But she explained, reading involves your entire body: eyes, mouth, ears, and finger. Use them all. That advice changed everything. The next day, I took my small book, opened the first page, and placed my finger on the first word. Slowly, I pronounced it aloud: this. I moved my finger to the next word: is. Then the next is day. Finally, the last word: dog. I smiled. It felt slow yet clear. I could hear and feel the words, following the line without losing my way. Using my finger helped me concentrate. I didn't skip lines or overlook words. My finger acted as a guide, directing my eyes and maintaining my pace. It became my reading companion. Reading aloud reinforced my memory. Hearing the words as I spoke them made them feel tangible. I wasn't merely reading, I was practicing my English. Some may feel shy about reading aloud. I did too, initially confining my practice to my room, whispering the words. Gradually, I grew bolder, eventually reading in front of a friend who complimented my progress. That encouragement boosted my confidence. Now, I always read with my finger and voice. This method isn't just for children, it benefits anyone learning a language. It accelerates brain processing, enhances focus, and improves speaking skills. It's a simple yet powerful technique requiring nothing special, just a book, your finger, and your voice. Sometimes, I underline unfamiliar words with a pencil, later checking their meanings. Occasionally, I repeat a sentence 3 times, striving to say it faster each time, which also enhances my speaking skills. Reading encompasses more than just reading, it's training, speaking, understanding, everything combined. When you practice this daily, something remarkable occurs. You begin to remember words, comprehend faster, and read more smoothly without conscious effort. Your mouth articulates, your finger guides, your eyes follow, and your mind understands, all simultaneously. I encourage you to try this today. Choose a short text. Use your finger. Pronounce each word aloud. Don't rush or fret over mistakes. Just immerse yourself in the words, allowing them to become part of you. Dedicate just 5 minutes daily, and I assure you, your reading will transform. This simple method significantly improved my reading, speaking, and overall learning. If it worked for me, it can work for you too. Reading with your finger and voice is not merely a trick, it's a gift. Bestow it upon yourself. Chapter 4: Navigating known and unknown words. In my early reading experiences, I would halt every time I encountered an unfamiliar word. Anxiety would set in, and I felt stuck. I would consult a dictionary, but that slowed my reading and drained my energy. I lost sight of the story and the joy of reading, focusing solely on definitions. I realized I wasn't truly reading, I was merely translating, which was exhausting. I thought I was doing something wrong. Then, I discovered a crucial lesson: you don't need to know every word to understand the text. For instance, while reading a story about a girl and her dog, I stumbled upon the word leash. I paused, examined the picture, and saw the girl holding something next to her dog. I inferred that leash referred to the item used to restrain a dog. I was correct. I didn't consult a dictionary, I relied on my reasoning, the image, and the context of the story. This revelation led me to a better way of reading. Now, when I encounter a new word, I attempt to deduce its meaning by analyzing the sentence, the surrounding words, and the accompanying images. I ask myself, what could this word signify? Sometimes I guess correctly, sometimes not, but each attempt teaches me something. I stopped fearing difficult words and abandoned the notion that I had to know everything. I learned to trust my instincts. If I understood the majority of the text, I could infer the meaning of the unknown words. If I struggled to comprehend, I simply chose an easier book. This approach kept me content and empowered. Enjoying reading encourages you to engage more, and the more you read, the better you become. I also began jotting down unfamiliar words, just one or two from each page. I didn't stop after every line. I selected one new word, wrote it in a notebook, included the sentence from the book, and noted my interpretation. Later, I would verify it. This small habit helped me retain new vocabulary and facilitated my growth. Sometimes, I read texts without illustrations, which posed a challenge. However, I still attempted to deduce meanings by considering the context. I would read entire paragraphs, often discovering the answers without needing a dictionary. English resembles a puzzle. You don't need every piece to see the complete picture, just enough to make sense of it. I ceased striving for perfection and began enjoying the process. I learned patience and to trust my mind. It knows more than I realize. If you're apprehensive about difficult words, I empathize. I once felt the same. But don't allow a single word to hinder your progress. Don't let one line disrupt your flow. Keep reading, deducing meanings, and immersing yourself in the story. Your mind is more capable than you think. I used to believe I had to comprehend every word, but now I understand that reading is about connection and feeling the meaning, even when some words remain elusive. So, as you read today, try this: don't pause for every unfamiliar word. Consider the entire sentence, the context, and the visuals. Think, guess, and keep moving forward. This will revolutionize your reading experience and make it enjoyable. You already possess more vocabulary than you realize, and you can comprehend more than you believe. Chapter 5. Befriend Simple Stories. One day, I stumbled upon a small book on a shelf. It appeared straightforward, with a title consisting of just 3 words. The cover depicted a boy holding a kite. I opened it, and the first sentence read, "Tom has a kite." I beamed. I could read and understand it. The next line stated, "He runs in the park." I could visualize it, feeling the scene come alive. I wasn't merely reading, I was immersed in the story. That day, I forged a new friendship, not with a person, but with a story. I read it daily, knowing the plot yet still finding joy in revisiting it. It provided comfort and a sense of security, helping me grow. The story was brief, the words uncomplicated, yet it imparted something significant: confidence, joy, and understanding. I began seeking more stories like that, ones with simple vocabulary and grammar, crafted for learners like me. I discovered graded readers, designed for English learners, categorized by levels: beginner, elementary, pre-intermediate. I opted for the easiest level, which suited me perfectly. Each book felt like a new companion. Some stories were humorous, others poignant, some centered on school, and others on animals. I enjoyed them all because I could read and connect with them. When I encountered something I didn't understand, I didn't panic. I trusted the narrative, continued reading, and inferred meanings. Each time I completed a story, I felt a sense of accomplishment, proudly sharing with my family, "I finished another book today." Their smiles and applause motivated me to read more. Sometimes, I explored stories with audio, listening while reading. This dual approach helped me grasp pronunciation and improve my speaking skills. I mimicked the voice, making it feel like a game. Reading alongside audio solidified the story in my mind, intertwining the voice, words, and emotions. I also began maintaining a list of my favorite stories and new vocabulary from each tale. I didn't aim to learn every word, just the ones that recurred. I noted them down and crafted simple sentences. This practice reinforced my memory. One story resonated with me deeply. It was about a boy aspiring to be a singer despite facing ridicule. He persevered and ultimately performed on a grand stage. That narrative touched my heart because I felt a similar struggle, people doubting my ability to learn English. But I was determined, reading and progressing. Easy stories aren't solely for beginners, they benefit anyone eager to learn. They teach vocabulary and grammar while instilling self-belief. They resonate with your heart and make learning enjoyable. If you wish to enhance your reading, find a story that captivates you. Don't fret if it's short or simple. If you enjoy it, you'll read it repeatedly, learning something new each time. Reading isn't a competition, it's a journey, and stories are your best allies along the way. Chapter 6. daily reading, even just a little. I once believed I needed hours to learn English, thinking that more time equated to quicker results. However, I was mistaken. What truly benefited me wasn't lengthy reading sessions but daily practice, even if just for 10 or 5 minutes. That small commitment transformed everything. Initially, I lacked a structured plan, reading sporadically. Some days I read, others I didn't, resulting in minimal improvement. I forgot words and lost my rhythm, feeling disconnected from the language. Then I resolved to read daily, even if just for 5 minutes. I selected the same book and designated a specific time, before breakfast. I established a routine, waking up, brushing my teeth, and then reading a page. I maintained this habit every day, even on weekends and during fatigue. I refused to break the chain. After a week, I noticed a change. Reading became easier, I struggled less and began to enjoy it. After 2 weeks, my reading speed increased and my comprehension improved. After a month, reading felt natural, like eating or walking. Some days, I read longer, 10 or 15 minutes, sometimes 2 pages or just 1 paragraph. The quantity didn't matter, what counted was consistency. Like watering a plant, a little daily reading nurtures your English skills. I kept my book accessible, on my table, in my bag, near my bed, removing excuses. I didn't wait for motivation, I created a routine that strengthened my resolve. Some days were challenging, I felt busy, sad, or lazy. Yet, I still read, even if it was just 1 sentence or line. I encouraged myself, just open the book. Just start. Once I began, I felt revitalized. That small action provided energy and tranquility. The truth is, English isn't learned overnight. It's not about grand moments but rather small, consistent steps taken daily with love. That's how I learned and grew, 1 line at a time, 1 day at a time. Looking back, I feel proud. All those small moments accumulated into something significant. I can read and understand more now because I didn't stop or wait for the perfect day. I made reading a daily habit. You can do it too. Don't wait for weekends or free time. Create it. Even 5 minutes is sufficient. Choose a short story or your favorite book, keep it close, and read daily. Gradually, you'll witness the magic unfold. Small daily reading is akin to drops of water. 1 drop is insignificant, but many create a river. Your reading will flow, your confidence will flourish, and one day, you'll declare, I can read English now, just as I did. Chapter 7. Shadow Reading. One day, while watching a cartoon in English, I noticed the characters spoke slowly and clearly. I turned on the subtitles and began to read along. Then, something unexpected happened. I started to repeat what they said. A line appeared on the screen, "Let's go to the park." I read it, heard it, and then said it aloud, "Let's go to the park." My voice mirrored theirs. That was my first experience with shadow reading, though I didn't know the term at the time. Later, I learned that shadow reading involves reading and speaking simultaneously while listening. Like a shadow follows a person, your voice follows the speaker. It's a simple yet powerful technique that transformed my reading experience. I began practicing shadow reading daily, selecting short videos, 1 or 2 minutes long. I activated the subtitles, listened, read, and repeated. I mimicked their voice, speed, and emotion, feeling as if I were acting in English. Initially, I stumbled, speaking slowly and missing words, but I persisted. My tongue adapted to the words, my eyes adjusted to the lines, and my ears attuned to the sounds. Everything synchronized. After a week, I spoke more quickly. After 2 weeks, my reading clarity improved, and after a month, I sounded more natural. My confidence soared, not just in reading but in speaking as well. Shadow reading allows you to do both simultaneously, providing a comprehensive English workout. Sometimes, I utilized audiobooks, listening to one line, pausing, repeating, and reading it aloud, striving to match the tone. This practice significantly enhanced my pronunciation, rhythm, and understanding of English flow. Shadow reading emboldened me. I no longer feared speaking. I didn't wait for perfect grammar. I simply spoke, emulating the voices in videos and stories. I became part of the English world, no longer an outsider. You can try this too. Choose your favorite cartoon or an English story on YouTube, activate the subtitles, watch, read, and then speak along. Initially, it may be challenging, but soon it will feel like music or dance. Your mouth will move with the words, and your voice will grow stronger. Shadow reading is enjoyable, easy, and effective. You don't need a teacher, just a video, your eyes, ears, and voice. Dedicate 5 minutes daily, and you'll witness the transformation. I still practice shadow reading because it keeps my reading vibrant and my speaking skills sharp. It makes English feel real, like a friend I converse with daily. Chapter 8. Writing after reading. After finishing a story one day, I closed the book, smiling. I had comprehended and enjoyed it, but then I pondered, what did I learn? I sat quietly, wanting to retain the story and the new vocabulary. I reached for a notebook and wrote a single line, "Tom runs with his kite." That was my first experience writing after reading. It was brief and simple, yet it helped me remember and kept the story alive in my heart. Writing after reading transformed my experience. When I read, I learn, but when I write, I remember. My brain strengthens, and my words clarify. I retain sentences and meanings, keeping them close. I established a habit. Every time I read something, I wrote something, a sentence, a brief summary, a feeling, or a new word. Just a few lines sufficed, but it significantly aided my learning. Sometimes, I wrote, "I like this story because it is easy," or "This story made me happy." I also noted new words, crafting sentences with them, like kite, "I have a red kite." That simple line brought me joy. Writing after reading instilled confidence. I was no longer just a reader, I was also a writer, creating something meaningful. I felt intelligent and proud as my notebook filled with my own English, thoughts, and words. Occasionally, I made mistakes, spelling or grammar errors, but I didn't let that deter me. I reminded myself, mistakes are part of learning. After a month, I reviewed my earlier writing and noticed my improvement. My sentences became clearer, my ideas expanded, and my heart swelled with pride. Reading and writing are like best friends, doing both accelerates learning, enhances understanding, and improves speaking. Writing allows you to visualize and connect with what you read. I even wrote letters to story characters, like "Dear Tom, I like your kite. I want to fly a kite too." It felt amusing, but it deepened my enjoyment of reading. You don't need to write extensively or perfectly. Just jot down one line after reading. What did you read? How did it make you feel? What new word did you encounter? That's sufficient. Do it daily and watch your English flourish, line by line, thought by thought. I still cherish my old notebooks, occasionally revisiting them. They chronicle my journey from short lines to full paragraphs, from fear to fluency, from silence to expression, all because I began writing after reading. You can start today. After reading something, grab a pen and write one line. It will transform your reading, learning, and speaking. Writing strengthens reading. Let your reading resonate through your writing, and let your story become part of your voice. Chapter 9: Engaging with Real-Life English. One day, while strolling through the market, I noticed a sign above a shop that read, "Fresh fruits available." I paused, read it again, and smiled. I understood it. It wasn't from a book or a video, it was real life, and I comprehended it. That moment felt monumental. I realized that English exists beyond books. It surrounds us in signs, labels, menus, and messages. After that, I began reading everything. I examined food packages, reading phrases like "open here" and "keep in a cool place." I scrutinized posters, price tags, and instructions on shampoo bottles. These were brief texts, but they were practical and relevant. I wasn't reading to pass a test, I was reading to enhance my life. One day, I visited a cafe and picked up the menu, which was in English. Previously, I would have felt intimidated and asked someone else to read it. But that day, I read it myself, slowly, line by line. Chicken sandwich, French fries, cold coffee. I understood it and felt empowered. I confidently placed my order in English, and the waiter complimented my language skills. That moment lingered in my heart. It was small, yet it felt significant. Reading real-life English helped me connect with the world. I was no longer just a student, I was a person living with English, using it, feeling it, and seeing it everywhere. Each time I comprehended something, I smiled, feeling victorious. I also read messages on social media, simple posts, quotes, and comments. I followed English learning pages that shared tips, short stories, and a word of the day. I read and learned from them. One time, I encountered a quote, "You are stronger than you think." I wrote it down, and it inspired me. Even while watching YouTube videos, I activated English subtitles, reading as I listened. When I encountered a new word, I paused to deduce its meaning before continuing. This habit merged my reading and listening skills, transforming every video into a reading lesson. I also began reading messages from friends in English, short texts like "How are you?" and "Let's meet today." Initially, I responded slowly, checking my spelling, but over time, it became easier. Reading those messages made me feel part of something larger, engaging in real conversations. One day, I received an email in English from my school. I understood it without assistance, and once again, I felt proud. This achievement stemmed from my daily practice of reading small texts everywhere. Now, I encourage everyone, don't limit yourself to books. Read life. Read signs, menus, and the world around you. It's filled with English, and you'll discover how much you already know, how much you can comprehend, and how much you can grow. Start seeking English in your daily life, at home, on your phone, in stores, and on the streets. It's all around you. Real English, simple English, useful English. The more you read, the more natural it becomes. Reading real-life English isn't just a lesson, it's a lifestyle. Every sentence you read strengthens your skills. Chapter 10: The Transformative Power of Reading. Reflecting on my journey, I recognize how far I've come. There was a time when English intimidated me. I couldn't read a single sentence. The words seemed foreign, and I felt small and powerless. But I persevered, reading one line a day and integrating reading into my life. Gradually, it transformed me in my thoughts, my speech, and my confidence. Reading bestowed upon me something I had never possessed before: hope. I vividly recall the day I completed my first full storybook. I closed it, beaming with pride. I had read every page, understood the narrative, and connected with the characters and their emotions. That book became part of my identity. It wasn't merely about acquiring vocabulary, it was about living in English, feeling the language, and cherishing the process. That day, I realized I could achieve more. Reading enhanced my performance in school, conversations, writing, and understanding the world. When someone spoke English, I could comprehend. When I encountered a sign, I could read it. When I received a message, I could respond without assistance. I felt empowered, capable of standing on my own. But reading didn't just aid my language skills, it fortified my inner self. It provided solace. When I felt exhausted, I read. When I felt down, I read. When I felt bored, I read. Stories became my companions, and words became my strength. English became my home. Now I understand that reading is not merely a skill, it's a journey, a light, a doorway. You can walk through it too. Start small, start simple. Read daily, with joy and passion. Soon you'll witness the transformation. Your reading will improve, your speaking will flourish, your thinking will evolve, and your entire life will feel different. I never imagined I would say this, but I now love reading in English. I look forward to it because it fosters my growth, brings me joy, and fills me with pride. You can experience this too, regardless of your current level or feelings of inadequacy. Just take that first step. Choose a book, read one line, one page, one story. Keep moving forward. Don't give up. The more you read, the higher you will rise. I believe in you. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it empowers you and offers a fresh start. Reading changed my life, and it can change yours too. If this video resonated with you, please like it. Speech balloon comment below. What book will you begin reading today? Bell and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more simple, impactful English learning stories. Let's learn, let's read, and let's grow together. The text in my videos is copyright protected by Bookish English. No one is allowed to steal or use my transcript in their videos under any circumstances. Using it in any form, including in your videos, is a violation of copyright laws. Immediate removal is required. Legal action will be taken if you fail to comply.